All right, I got the recorder on.
Great,
All
great.
right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Latavia with LZ Real Estate Group, and today here we have a special guest, Mr. Larry Powell from NACA. Just to introduce Mr. Larry, just so you guys know who you are, have the pleasure of viewing today. We have Mr. Larry Powell, who is a mortgage counselor. He's been in the mortgage industry for over 20 years. He has worked with NACA for the last 4 years. And Mr. Larry is here today just to educate us about NACA, let us know what the program is all about, how we can get started in the program, and just fill us in on all that information. So thank you, Larry, for giving us your time this evening, and looking forward for the information that you're going to give us today.
It's a pleasure to join you today. Just to give you a little background, NACA has been in the business for over 35 years. We're an advocate for home buyer. We're the largest nonprofit housing approved, HUD approved counselors in the country. We're in 48 states. Um, NACA has been around for 35 years. We coined the term predatory lending. We're an advocate out there for buying homes to low to moderate, basically low to moderate income buyers who've been shut out of the home buying process through not even predatory lending, but also just the different guidelines. We had changed the guidelines out there, and basically we're a character-based lending program. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Wonderful. So you mentioned character-based lending. So how does NACA help people pursue and maintain that dream of home ownership, especially being a character-based lending institution?
Great question. We look at things a little bit different than traditional banks out there, where they look at your credit score, how much you're putting down, things like that. Our basis, we look at the last 2 years, how well you pay your bills on time. We look at the last 24 months. Are you paying your bills on time? Are you paying rent? And we base everything off that. It's all about affordability. We look at your income and we look at your debt, and we let you know how much you qualify based off of that payment. We don't say, okay, you qualify for a $200,000 house. We say you qualify for a $1,500 mortgage. We know you can afford that mortgage at $1,500. You're really not, and us will go out and make sure that the house is affordable to you. So we're not gonna say again a 250,000. We'll say we know you can afford basically a $1,500 payment, and everything's
Awesome.
based off the taxes.
Awesome. Wonderful. Wonderful. So we not talking about credit scores. We're not talking about all of those other things that our traditional lenders are looking for. We're looking at your character, making them on-time payments. That's why I stress when you're in the home buying process, make your payments on time. That's very, very important. So that's awesome. What would you say, since I know you've had exposure to both sides of the industry, you worked with NACA, you also work with your traditional mortgage lenders. What would you say the benefits are of getting a NACA mortgage versus getting a traditional mortgage product that's available out there?
Okay, some of the great characters of the NACA program. One is there's no down payment,
That's a
no
win.
no closing costs. Another
Awesome.
win. No credit
Yeah.
score is considered. No MI, which is mortgage insurance. Those are all the great benefits. We also have a interest buy down program where you can buy the interest rate down permanently, not temporarily, but permanently, based on things. There's no points, no closing costs, no down payments. So the traditional banking, conventional, sometimes 3 to 5% down, up to 20% down. FHA is 3.5%. And again, if you put less than conventional, if you put less than 20% down, you have mortgage insurance. We have no mortgage insurance.
Nice.
So
Nice.
those are some of the great benefits we have.
Yes,
They
nice.
build our
And
program, and no credit score is considered. So if you have a 700 credit score, you get our interest rate. If you have a 400 credit score, same interest rate, and mostly our interest rates are below market rate.
awesome. Awesome. And I like how you mentioned that buy down is a permanent buy down. I've seen people get buy downs and they're like for 1 year or 2 year. So
Right.
you're telling us that that buy down is for that whole 15-year or 30-year mortgage. Is that what you're
15,
saying?
absolutely. 15, 20, or 30 is a permanent buy down,
Wow. That's awesome.
which will
That's
save you interest
wonderful.
over time.
That's wonderful. And you also mentioned how the rates are below market. Just to go into that a little bit more, can you tell the people a little bit more about what that means?
A little bit, right? Again, you go on our website, www.naca.com, and our interest rate is right there on the website. So there's nothing we hiding out there. So that
Right.
our current interest rate, like today, is on a 30-year fix is 5.875. So
Wow.
everybody gets that rate. If you are our priority members, you get that rate at 5.875,
Wow.
and that's on a
Wow.
30-year fix.
Wow, I just recently had a client that came in on a traditional, still at the 6, 7, 8, 6, 7%. And you
Hmm.
just said a 5.8 today. That's
Right,
today. So wow,
5.875. Right. Again,
wow,
and
wow.
it doesn't matter what your credit score is because we don't talk about credit. We look at your payment history, your
That's
character.
yeah. And when you look at that payment history, is it the last 2 years, did you say?
We concentrate on the last 2 years.
The last
Absolutely.
2 years.
Okay,
Okay,
24
okay.
months.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So how would someone go about actually getting into like the NACA program, and at what point do they get to begin shopping for their dream home?
All right, that's two part. One to get started, you go to the NACA website again, which is www.naca.com, and you click on the to get ready to, under buying a home, and you register for one of our workshops. We have we normally have two workshops a month. One is live, face to face, and another one is webinar. We're starting in March. It's going to be a self-paced one. It's going to be the webinar that you have, but we still have face to face once a month, and then we have the actually we'll do it twice a month, face to face around the city of Chicago area, and then you also start in March where everybody can go out and do their own webinar video and do it self-paced, which we're going to start again in March. We'll get started. Once you attend that webinar, you'll get your NAC ID. Then you have your meeting with your counselor and you get started on the program.
Wonderful. Wow, that sounds pretty straightforward. So we go to that website that was www.naca.com.
Which is NACA.com.
Wonderful. Awesome. And then I like that they're adding that self-paced webinar option. That's
Right,
nice. That's
right.
nice.
So that's
Well,
new for us. Again, we used to have just a webinar, once a month, and also but now we're doing a self-paced, so add a little flavor there where you do it your own time instead of on Saturdays. We normally have it on Saturdays.
nice, nice, awesome. So then once we we get to get our NACA qualification and we get out there and start shopping, we find our dream home. Once we get under contract, typically how long does it take us to get to closing with NACA?
We normally say 35 days.
Okay.
It depends on the property itself, because what NACA does, we do something just a little bit different compared to other lenders. Once you get under contract, we actually go out and get a home inspection, and we actually look at that home inspection. Most banks out there don't look at that home inspection. We have a department, our hand department, that actually goes over all the repairs that are on that home inspection, and those things must be addressed. They either can be addressed by the seller taking care of those, or the buyer can add those repairs to their loan, like a 203K. So
Hmm,
we have a department that actually handles that hand department. So if there are some extensive repairs that need to be done, that can actually extend the closing process out there because things must be addressed. We want to make sure the home buyer is not getting out there and getting a property that's under distress. We want to make sure they know exactly what they get into and these issues are taken care of. So there's no perfect home out there unless you're buying like a new construction. There can be some repairs out there that need to be done.
that's nice. Wow. So you're telling me I can go out, find my dream home, potentially close within 35 days, but not to stop there. But if that home needs some repairs, if it's not necessarily ready to move in, I also have the opportunity to finance some renovations.
That is
Wow.
correct. That is correct.
Wow.
And so,
All within one mortgage product.
there you go, all in one loan, right?
Yes.
At,
Wow.
at, at the below market rate, which like today is 5.875.
Wow. Wow. So those wow. That's very comprehensive. That's very, especially in today's market, we're running into a lot of homes that are they need a little love.
Right, right,
So it's
right.
really good to be able to know you have that in your back pocket to be able to renovate that home if it's a fixer upper. The last thing I wanted to ask you was with the NACA mortgage product, is it like a FHA? Is it conventional? What kind of loan is this? Like, what is it?
It is a conventional loan, conventional Fannie Mae loan. It's not FHA, it's not a government loan, so it's not FHA, not a VA. It's a conventional loan, conventional underwriting scheme. We just do things a little bit different. We kind of change
Nice.
the game out there for everybody, get people to buy homes.
Nice,
Yes.
nice. For me as a realtor, when I hear conventional, any mortgage product that you go with is okay. But when you hear conventional, it just makes that competition feel a little bit less intense, you know?
Yeah, FHA
So
has, when people say FHA, they say, oh, that's a weak buyer or something like that. So,
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
our approval letters again, and when our buyers go out there, our members there actually get an approval letter. It's not a pre-qualification; it's an approval letter because you have been officially underwritten by an underwriter.
Wow.
It's not desktop underwriting; it's an official underwriter, actual person going through your file. That's why we ask for documentation, complete files, pay stubs, W-2s, tax returns, everything.
Nice.
So you're officially
That
underwritten.
that makes you stand out from the competition even better. So if you come into a situation where it's multiple offers with rates coming down and things like that, I anticipate going into this market where competition is going to be high, having a approval letter, not a pre-approval or pre-qualification, but
Hmm.
an approval letter from NACA that has already went through underwriting. That's awesome. That's music to my ears as an agent.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yes.
most definitely.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap up, because I know it's kind of late in the evening, and again, I appreciate your time. Did you have any final words of wisdom, recommendations, anything for our buyers out there?
Just come out, go on the website, sign up. I know it sounds too good to be true, but we're closing all the time. Just come on out, hear the testimonies, and we can talk about it. We'll go through the program, meet with our counselors here, and just go through it. And we'll go through it. Again. Our counseling, we go our complete counseling of the whole household. So we make you go through budgeting, everything. We're gonna know where your money is going to. Yes, it's a little intense. We're gonna ask for some information, but we're gonna counsel you. You're gonna know exactly what's going on. It's not a come in one day and out the next day. We're gonna go to and really do counseling with you.
I love it. I love it. You know, you're educating the whole buyer. You're not just taking them through and saying, here you go.
Here's some
Good
documents. No, no, no.
luck. Awesome. Awesome. My experience of working with a NACA qualified buyer and actually going to the closing table was quite eye-opening to the program and how well educated the buyers are. We were out in the field looking at houses, and my buyer was telling me figures before I even pulled them up because she knew what to expect. She knew what was in her mortgage payment. She knew what she could afford. So that is a good position to be in as a buyer. So especially as a first-time home buyer, to know exactly what you're stepping into and what to expect. So again, thank you so much, Larry. I appreciate you today, and hopefully I'll be sending some buyers your way soon.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Take care.